So today, of course, we're talking about the power of follow-up. So this is going to be a practical, high-impact overview of some tips and some tools that you can use to help follow up with folks in your business to help maintain and grow your leads that you get in on a regular basis and convert them into gold. All right, let's talk about why follow-ups matter first and foremost. Basically, this is some sales statistics and even real estate statistics around lead follow-up and what things look like here. So 80% of sales require 5+ follow-ups. So I want everybody to stop and think about that for just a minute. 5+ follow-ups can be a lot, but to convert 80% of those is going to change your business. So a lot of times we get tied up in the day-to-day rat race. You may get excited whenever you get that initial lead call and want to take that call right away, and you may schedule a follow-up call to hit that second call, but then you get involved with inspections or life or busy things that kind of pull you away from those folks that you talked to a few days ago. So this is some information that I have here for you today that'll help you sort of organize those leads and continue to follow up and convert. So the statistic is that most agents stop after 1 or 2 attempts. And again, you can see that it takes 5+ a lot of times. So that's not going to always do the trick for you. Speed plus consistency wins business. And we're going to talk a little bit more about each one of these categories as we sort of go through the presentation. But for sure, speed to lead is super important. Every realtor on this call is one of 1,500 plus in our area. So if you're able to get the call sooner versus later, that speed is going to help you. We'll talk a little bit more and I'll give you some tips on that too as we progress. But also that consistency, that follow-up, that touching back with folks is something that you're going to hear a lot of. Consistency will be the key word today. All right. So one follow-up really converts. It's the second, third, fifth touch where this trust is built with your leads. Most people quit super early, which is exactly why consistency is going to become your competitive edge. Okay, so this is what's going to stand you apart. And it doesn't have to be difficult or take a whole lot of your time to do this. It's just a matter of having the discipline to actually do it. So you can see I took a little snip of my lead tracker below. Our team has a really great realtor lead tracker that's actually designed just for realtors that have a little bit of a different format, and we're happy to share that with you all today. If you want to drop your name and email in the chat, we can email you out an Excel document that we use. Now, this lead tracker is great for so many things. Today, we're only touching just on the follow-up aspect of it, because that's, of course, the subject matter of our boot camp today. But there's a lot of functionality in this lead tracker that can truly change your business. All right, so a couple of examples below. You can see that I've been blessed with recent leads, including Miss Dolly Parton and Magic Mike. I mean, I am very blessed in this business to get to work with some wonderful folks. So as you can see below, Dolly came to me with a referral from a realtor, and there's a category for realtor, and John the realtor was the guy that was nice enough to send her my way. Her milestone in the process with me right now is application started. So that tells me that she's gotten started with my application but hasn't quite finished up with that yet. She reached out to me by phone. Here is her contact information, email, phone number, and the number of calls. So the number of calls, of course, is very important in the idea of the follow-up 5+ to convert. So you can see how many times I've connected with her. And at this point, she's started my application, but she's not under contract yet. So there's still some follow-up to do to keep that relationship strong and healthy. So you'll see that the first contact date that I had with her was the 2nd of January. The next follow-up should always be in the future. This is not, because of course I set it up as an example for you folks, but your next follow-up should always be in the future because you're always going to want to continue to touch base and check in with folks. The last time I spoke with Dolly was on the 2nd, and the last time that I called John the realtor to let him know a status on Miss Dolly and where she's at in our process was the 2nd as well. There's no way with the amount of leads that we get as lenders and realtors without having some sort of spreadsheet, CRM, something like that, that we can keep track of all of this stuff in our own head. We all have too much going on. If you take a few minutes in your morning before you start your day and kind of organizing, hey, who am I going to speak with today? And when am I going to speak with these folks today? It's going to change your business. So, my suggestion is first thing in the morning, before your life gets crazy, before you're running from here to there, before you're at inspections and places running around showing homes, go ahead, sit down, look at your information for the day, see who you need to follow up with. And you might be saying, hey, Dixie, I'm not sitting at my laptop all day like you are. How can I do this effectively? My suggestion would be to send yourself a text message or send yourself an email, something with a list of people to hit. And when you're in the car driving from one place to the next or at a stoplight, you can pull that up, call them really quick, have a great check-in with them, and just stay top of mind with these folks. At the end of your day, when you get back home for the day, sit down, log the calls that you have. Another really cool thing about our lead tracker, you can't see it in this little snip here, but there's a notes field off to the side. So whatever conversation you have, when I speak with Dolly, if she tells me that she's going on a tour and will not be back until April, I'll put a note in there, reach back out April. But you can always reference back to your notes, and that helps you remember things. You can do that when it comes to personal stuff that people share with you too, so that you can reference that and have more of a personal connection versus just a business connection. People appreciate when you remember important stuff that happens within their lives for sure. So with that, we'll move on. But again, we have a realtor version of this entire Excel spreadsheet. It's going to be a little different than what you're seeing here example wise, but just drop your email in the chat and name, and we'll send you a copy. All right, moving on. So no response does not equal no interest. So I really want to talk about this, and I've been managing the lead tracker for our team for a very long time now, since 2019, and there's some really valuable things that I've learned along the way, including that sometimes no response doesn't mean rejection. So I want everybody to go ahead and think about this. So just keep in mind that ghosting is maybe just a timing issue and not really a rejection. So don't take that so personal, basically. So if you reach out to someone and they don't answer you right away, don't let that discourage you. Maybe they're in the middle of something, or maybe the timing just isn't right. Perfect example, just from 2 days ago from myself, I was following up with a young lady. I knew that she wanted to speak with me, but she was actually about to jump in the dentist chair. So no one wants to talk to you when they're about to hit the dentist chair. So I just said, what's another day and time that would be good for you? And I went ahead and scheduled a follow-up call with her, and I will stick to that and reach out to her then. So just keep in mind, the timing may not always be right, but what's important is your consistency. If they don't answer, leave them a voicemail. A lot of times, if you happen to have their email and their phone number as well, I do a 3-point hit the first time that I speak with folks. So if I reach out and I get someone's voicemail, I'll leave them a message letting them know, of course, who I am and how I heard about them. I will follow that up with a text message and say, just in case texting is easier for you today, just wanted to reach out by text, so let's coordinate a call. And then if you happen to have their email, you can do the very same thing. So you've already had 3 touches, and whatever method they prefer to communicate with you, they have those tools to respond. So just kind of keep that too in the back of your mind. So another reason why you may not be hearing from folks is that just pure overwhelm and fear. I know a lot of times that, people see a house pop up on the market and they go from 0 to 100 almost instantly. But then when they have a few minutes to think about things, they really want to dial back and digest what this looks like. Are they selling a house to buy a house? Is the school district for their kids going to change? Like, what is it all encompassing that can be very overwhelming? So sometimes people will come out of the gate with the, pedal to the metal, full acceleration, and then they'll kind of go away for a minute. But I think a lot of times that's from just pure overwhelm. And when they have time to process, they'll be back. But in the meantime, you can keep following up with them and letting them know, hey, I'm here to help you whenever you're ready. No pressure. If you have questions that you think of along the way, just let me know. So just keeping yourself there as a resource and reminding them that you're still here for them is super helpful. And again, our keyword today, consistency will build that trust over the time. So if you don't have a word for 2026, like a motivational word, let me assign you one, and that's going to be consistency. Consistency in your business will definitely will benefit you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what actually works. So speed to lead, like I already mentioned early on, fast first response within minutes, not hours. Now, is this always possible? Of course, it is not always possible. Okay. We're all out running around doing lots of stuff, face to face with folks. We can't grab a phone call necessarily, but let me give you just a few tips that may help you in this as well. So, do your very best to take calls as quickly as you can. If you can't, there are some tools out there that can help you at least touch base with folks so that you can acknowledge their contact to you and promise another connection back out to them. So, one, of course, is if you have your phone in your hand and it's ringing but you can't answer it, you can do the quick reply text message, and you can customize those to make it make sense for your business. And you can say, "Sorry, I'm in an appointment right now. I can call you back in 30 minutes." And someone receiving that versus nothing whatsoever, at least it's still a promise of a connection back. And that can certainly help retain that person from making the next realtor phone call. Okay. And then another tip, first tip, make sure that your voicemail inbox is always available, because you can use your voicemail as an assistant to help you with things like this. So, when you're setting down for your day and you're creating the list of calls that you need to make to follow up with folks in the morning, it may take 2 minutes. Take another minute um, and go into your voicemail and change your voicemail message. Change it to be relevant for the day that it is. So, January 14th today, for example, and just leave a message and say, "This is Dixie Lowe with Long and Foster. You've reached me, but I have appointments throughout the day. Today is January the 14th. If you'd please leave me your name and number at the beep, I'll get back to you within the hour. Or if you'd like to, please feel free to send me over a text message and we can coordinate a time to chat." So when you're not able to answer the phone, you can at least have that voicemail there so that they know, A, they've reached the right person. Sometimes if they're reaching you the first time and the voicemail box is full, they don't even know that they've dialed the right number. So that can act as a little bit of an assistant for you whenever you're not able to take the call, and creates a little bit of a point of contact that might buy you enough time to reach back out to those folks so that they don't go elsewhere. So again, we're talking about the importance of multiple touches over time. Um, that 5+ lead touch point, super important. So keeping track of how many calls you've made and spreading those out over a period of time will make a huge impact. So just remember, those multiple touches definitely work and they bring value. So when you're actually reaching out to folks, be value driven and not salesy. Well, one thing that's going to make you want to make that call and not regret or not look forward to making that call. I don't think anybody loves to cold call people or feel like they're pitching something to folks over the phone. So if you're able to actually have something that brings value or a quick check-in that's low pressure, that's going to be a much easier phone call for you to have. And it's actually going to be more impactful anyway, to the person on the receiving end of that. All right. So I've sort of developed a couple of follow-up scripts over the years, and here are a few scripts that I think would be very helpful for you all. And you're welcome, of course, to take some of these scripts with you, create some of your own, of course, because you want scripts are great, right? So use scripts, but you want to make them personal and you want them to be useful and helpful and very low stress, low pressure communication points. All right. So let's talk about a few of them. So this is a really great one. He just wanted to make sure you got my message. I'm here and happy to help. Super simple. It offers a very gentle nudge, reminding them that you're there and happy to help whenever the time makes sense. So here's one that's more of a question, and questions are cool because it kind of facilitates a little bit of a response, right? So someone may be likely to send you a quick response on this, so that's good. So there's an engagement there. So how about the market has shifted slightly? Want a quick update? And so then if they send you a message back and say, sure, then you can schedule your time to chat and go from there. So the last one I have here, hey, I'm still here as a resource when the timing is right. So there again is the no pressure, low pressure, still making that touch point, still kind of embedding your name and who you are in the back of their mind and letting them know that you're their advocate when the time's right. All right. So I wanted to try to keep our presentation fairly short today so that there's time for questions and I can respect everyone's time. And if we have a little leftover time, then you all can work on your homework that I'm about to give you here, your takeaway for the day. Okay. So I challenge you to revisit 5 old leads this week. So, folks that maybe you've recently been in contact with, or maybe not so recent, that you want to follow up with. So, definitely make that initial follow up. And then I challenge you to add on your tracker, the tracker we can share with you, or one that you already have now, 2 more follow up dates and continually track that person until you're at 5 plus lead contact points. And then you can track your conversion rate after that and see exactly what's been effective for you. So be the one that's consistency in our business, in the real estate world, in the sales world in general, is going to make you super successful and give you the competitive advantage. So, um, again, you're welcome to drop your name and email in the chat box and we can send you out the lead tracker. We're all really versed in the lead tracker and can certainly help if there's any questions whatsoever. We're here to help. If you want to have a little quick phone call, sit down, Zoom, want to go into more details with me, you're very welcome to reach out to me. Here's some of my information here on the screen. Once you get your hands on our lead tracker, you can check out the functionality of it, but taking a few minutes every day to follow up with a handful of folks that you've recently worked with. Our leads are our gold nuggets. So let's cultivate them and cherish them and follow through until they're at that finish line. I'll go ahead and end our call really quick if there are no more questions, just with a really cool quote that I like regarding consistency. So, consistency is what transforms average into excellence. So, just remember that and join us this time again next week on Zoom. We'll hit another topic to help you crush your 2026. So, thank you all. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, Dixie. Nice
You're
job.
welcome. See you guys.